Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you. Sorry. Anyway, hi guys. So one of the only things I haven't talked about on this channel yet, surprisingly, very surprisingly, is sex. Considering that's a very important aspect of my life and my relationship, and to me, um, it really is surprising that I haven't talked about it yet on here. I think the main reason is because I don't want this to be about my personal experiences. Sure, I'll, give you examples from my own, experiences and stuff like that when talking about a certain topic, but I want this, videos like this to be more of an educational purpose to those of you who maybe aren't as familiar with, statistics and facts and this and that about sex and things pertaining to sex. And especially those of you who have only gotten education, sex education from middle or high school, because that's all a load of bullshit, straight up. So once you get to college, it's completely different, unless maybe, you go to a college, a Catholic college, or, something of the sort. But anyway, I'm just going to talk kind of broadly about sex, just a little bit of this and that. I want to do a poll, maybe tonight actually, I don't know, on what specific topics you guys want me to talk about, because I want this to be for you guys, not for me. So if there's any, topic or whatever that you don't know much about, that you want to hear my personal experience about, my opinions, facts, statistics, what have you, let me know at any time, not just now, anytime. Message me in here, my Tumblr, wherever, and let me know. I will be glad to make a video, because again, I want to help you guys, and this is what these videos are for. So anyway, what is sex? Some of you may say, duh Kim, it's obviously when a guy sticks his dick in another girl's vagina. And while it is true, that's not the only kind of sex out there. I mean, we have lesbian sex, we have gay sex, we have anal sex, we have oral sex. Some people even consider fingering and giving handjobs a sex, which makes sense. It is a sexual act. So it's really how you define it. Some people, when they ask, how many sexual partners someone has had, that person is not just counting the person they've had strictly, penile, vaginal sex with, but oral and anal and all that. And again, like I said, which makes sense, that's up to them to define, what sex is for them, not anyone else. So that's that. So who has sex? I know this, again, sounds like a really dumb question, but it's really not as dumb as it seems, because not everyone has sex, believe it or not. The majority of the human race does, but there are many, 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 religious groups and cultures and this and that where sex is prohibited. Or, it's only okay for reading, basically. And then there are people who are asexual, and asexuality isn't about the choice to not have sex. Asexuality is a sexual orientation, just like, heterosexuality, bisexuality, pansexuality, anything like that. It's a sexual orientation. And like any other sexual orientation, it's not a choice. Some people get a little mixed up with celibacy, which is the act of remaining unmarried and or, abstaining from sex, at least until marriage. Some people, stay celibate for their entire lives. And that is a choice, whether it be by, religious choice, cultural choice, family, personal, what have you. It's a choice. Being asexual is not a choice. Like, most people are attracted to the opposite gender or the same gender or both. Asexuals don't really experience sexual attraction at all, for the most part, or at all, period, and refrain from having sex. for the most part, or again, entirely, because that's just not what they're into, and that's fine. Um, so how can we stay safe during sex? I know you've all heard these things, or probably all of you have heard these things time and time again, whether it be at school, by your family, maybe even at a church or something. I don't know. Um, how to stay safe. And the most common one is condoms, but do we really all know, or do you really all know everything there is to know about condoms? I mean, there are a ton and ton of different kind of condoms out there. Number one, there's male condoms, which is the one that most people are familiar with. There's a female condom, which is a little less, known or used. There is latex is definitely probably the most common one, but kind of condoms. But there are many people out there who are allergic to latex, and some people don't realize that latex isn't all there is out there. There's lambskin. There's just non-latex in general. There's all different kinds of ones. Kinds of condoms. There's ultra thin condoms. There's flavored condoms even. There's textured, lubricated, non-lubricated, just all kinds of different ones. There's also spermicidal, which is I wouldn't exactly recommend, because not only are a lot of people allergic to it, the ingredients in it aren't really good for our parts, so I would stay away from that. But I mean, for the most part, all these condoms are safe. Everyone, not everyone or every man has the same shaped penis, the same size penis, you know, thickness, length, what have you. Not every woman likes the same feeling. Some like textured condoms or ribbed condoms. Some like, just ultra thin, just plain condoms, best for pleasure and comfort. There are condoms out there that don't have the reservoir tip at the top, but I would strongly recommend the ones that do. Otherwise, you run the risk, which the risks aren't too high, but you do run the risk, if there's not that reservoir tip at the top, of having, the semen leak out from the bottom, because there's nowhere to go, and leaking into the vagina, which really defeats the purpose, or at least, part of the purpose of the condom. So I would definitely recommend the ones with the reservoir tips on them. But I mean, this is the one, thing that everyone seems to talk about in terms of safe sex, when really there are tons of different options. Condoms are, the best bet for protection against, HIV, genital warts, herpes, gonorrhea, chlamydia, what have you. But in terms of birth control, there are a ton of methods out there, and everyone seems to look at the condom and the pill as the main method, when really, I mean, there's a ton. I mean, really, there's a diaphragm that sits inside of you, there's sponge, cervical cap, the withdrawal method, which isn't nearly as reliable as all of these other ones. There's spermicides, there's the IUD, there's the implant, you can get, shots every so often. There's the ring, like the new ring that sits inside of you. There's a patch. There's, female sterilization and vasectomy, is if you, don't, if you're done having kids or you don't want them in general, you want to take that route. But there's a ton, and they're all, for the most part, very effective. And while some of them may be much more costlier than, say the pill, in the long run, they definitely pay for themselves. And some women do much better on things like, say the IUD than they ever have on the pill. So I'm not gonna get too much into that. If you want, I'll, talk about it in detail later on. But that's that. And really, the best way, other than these things, to stay safe, is to communicate. I mean, right off the bat, that's the best thing you can do in any sexual scenario in any relationship, even friendships, whatever. Communication is like the key to, you know, happiness and safety and what have you. And by this I mean getting tested on a regular basis. If you're, having multiple partners in a year, get tested before and probably after each new partner that you and have them do the same. Make sure they actually do it. Give each other the correct, the accurate results that you get back. If you're in a monogamous relationship, then, usually once a year is, you're good to go. Again, have both of you do it, communicate with each other, be, completely honest, because if there is something up, not only, is it harming you and putting you at risk, but it's also putting your partner at risk, which is really not cool. Sorry. Anyway, like I said, this is just broad, so I'm just, just barely touching on every, whatever. But anyway, so there's, a couple of main things, obviously. Let's talk about the benefits of sex next, because I think it's safe to say that, a good amount of people know that there are benefits to sex other than, just straight up pleasure and a good time. But do we really know all the benefits of them? And, really how great sex can be for you, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally and all that good stuff. So, this article I actually found on about.com, and these are actually facts backed up by science, and you should know that. And I'll just go through them all, or some of them. But these are some of the emotional and physical benefits from having frequent sex. Safe sex, of course. And the frequency part is kind of subjective, because while one person may think that having frequent sex is, twice a week, someone else may think that no, like frequent sex is multiple times a day, or frequent sex for some people may be every other week, or every month, or every few months, So it is subjective, but usually I have read in other articles that usually they're talking about, about 2 to 3 times a week, thereabouts, about 3 times a week. Well, these are some of the awesome benefits you can get from sex that a lot of people don't know about. First one, lower mortality rates, reduced risk of prostate cancer, improves posture, boosts self-esteem, makes a person feel younger, firms tummy and buttocks, keeps spouses connected emotionally, offers pain relief, gives people a positive attitude on life, reduced risk of heart disease, makes a person more calm, increased DHEA, makes your skin healthier, improves fitness level, makes a person less irritable, reduce depression, improves sense of smell, has a therapeutic effect on the immune system, better bladder control, relieves stress, relieves mental cramps, helps people sleep better, improves digestion, healthier teeth, which is interesting, increases circulation, helps folks remember more, also interesting, produces chemicals in the brain to stimulate the growth of dendrites, lowers the level of cortisol, a hormone that can trigger fatigue and cravings, lowers feelings of insecurity, increased level of commitment, less frequent colds and flu. It can help people achieve weight loss, since about 200 calories are burned during 300 minutes of active sex, or 30, sorry, 300, 30 minutes of active sex. And studies are also showing that it's a myth that abstinence can sharpen a person's competitive edge, which, yeah, I'm not really sure what they mean by that. But anyway, so these are just some of the amazing benefits you can get from sex. So enjoy it, you know? Take your time, have a good time, or be quick if you want. It doesn't matter. Um, Sex, you know, the length of time really does not matter. You know, as long as you and your sexual partner or partners are content with it, you know, the length of sex you're having, the kind of sex you're having, how often, you know, this, that, then who cares what anyone thinks? You know, you're having an awesome time while getting, you know, theoretically all these great benefits. And I don't know, I really don't know how sex can get any more awesome than this, to be honest. But, so that's that. I just thought I would, you know, tell you guys some of those things. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Oh, another thing, a lot of people don't realize the chemicals that are released from the brain during sex, specifically orgasm, such as dopamine, which is, you know, basically the happy drug, which is, you know, is released during sex. And this is characterized by, you know, increased energy, focus, you know, just general happiness, positivity, etc. And like I said, this is released during sex. And I think this is the one, yeah, this is the one where it is said to have the same effect on the brain as taking cocaine, which is crazy. I don't even know what to say to that, honestly. And then another one, serotonin is another one. Oxytocin, which is, you know, said to be the cuddle hormone, is also released during orgasm. And it's called the cuddle hormone because that's what, you know, a lot of people experience after sex is, you know, they still want to be intimate even though they're not having sex. They want to, you know, be personal and vulnerable. They want to, or at least, you know, even just cuddle, you know, hold the person. So that's always awesome. And I don't know, there's a bunch of crazy things that are released, you know, chemicals and everything that are released in the brain during sex and orgasm specifically, which, I mean, you can read up on them all because it is very interesting and very cool. So that's that. Last thing, I just wanted to read a few of these statistics, and they're from all different references, but, you know, it's 32 random sex, you know, facts about sex. I'll just read some of them. During 30 minutes of active sex, the average person burns approximately 200 calories, which I said before. On average, adult men think about sex every 7 seconds. I don't know how true that is, but that's crazy. Having sex at least once per week can lower a man's risk of heart disease by 30%, stroke by 50%, and diabetes by 40%. It has also shown that men with an active sex life are more likely to live past 80 years. Those are all great things. The average size of an erect penis measures between 5 and 6 inches, while the average size of flaccid penis is about 3.5 inches. And I'm just going to say this now: size does not matter. Okay? I know some people say otherwise. Some people may make you feel otherwise. It doesn't matter. To some individuals, it may, and it's kind of a shame, to be honest, but that's their preference. So, you know, there's no reason to bash them. But size isn't necessarily going to bring you pleasure. My, you know, first and last sexual partner that I had, I believe, I believe was a little bigger than my current partner. He never made me orgasm, mind you, ever. Not, with his penis, not even with his mouth or anything. And we had sex fairly, regularly. Meanwhile, Will made me orgasm the first time we had sex. So you know what I mean? And while Will, he is definitely still very well endowed. He's not as big as my first partner, yet he's a million times better. So size does not matter. It's what you can do with it that matters. It's communicating that matters, telling the person what you like. Maybe, masturbating for them to show them what you like. And of course, masturbating on your own first to figure out what you like. Experimenting with different positions, different kinds of sex, i.e., not just regular penis and vagina, but oral and anal, whatever, tit sex, that's the thing. Ear sex, no, not kidding, but unless you're into that. But, there are tons of ways to find out what you enjoy about sex. A really, really, I know I'm kind of getting off topic, but a really awesome website that, if you're with, a regular partner, whether you're monogamous or you have, friends with benefits, whatever. The website mojoupgrade.com, which I will link below, is a phenomenal website to communicating what you like. And this is more in terms of desires and fantasies and, stuff like that, as opposed to, like specific things, how you like things. But what it is it's, like a test kind of thing, where you and the other person answer all the same questions, and there's all different categories, pertaining to, say, BDSM, sex toys, whatever, what have you. Role playing is another one. Bunch of different things like that, and you each answer all the same questions, and then, whether it's in different places or separately, and, where the other person isn't watching. And then at the end, it compares the two, and if there's any ones that, one or both of you had, a negative response to, it doesn't show that at all. But anything that it's like, in the middle or positive, it shows, and it's really awesome. Will and I did it a little while ago, and some things weren't really much of a surprise because we have been together for over 3 years, and we do use great communication. But there are a few interesting things, and it was just really fun to do, even if none of it does come to a surprise. It is really fun to see exactly how you match up, and just taking the test in general is, cool. But, so that was that. I actually recommended the website to one of my friends, last week, and she and her boyfriend, I say that because that's what she calls him, so that's, not my place to say. But anyway, she and him did it, and they actually found out a lot of new things about each other that they didn't know before in terms of sex and desires and stuff. So I thought that was really awesome. So it definitely can help. But that's that. Online communication, all that matters. Some more facts. This was done back in 2008, but the sperm count of the average American male in 2008 was down nearly 30% from the sperm count of an average American male 30 years ago, which is kind of scary, to be honest. Viagra, the well-known blue pill designed to help with erectile dysfunction, made $411 million in profits within the first 3 months of its release in 1998, before going on to make $1.8 billion in 2003. Use of the condom was first known in published literature in the early 1500s, which is crazy. The device was originally made of linen, and historians believe the legendary lover Casanova used linen condoms. So, I don't know, it's a neat little fact, I guess. Historical records show that even in 1850 BC, women attempted to practice birth control. The most common method was a mixture of crocodile dung and honey placed in the vagina in the hopes of preventing pregnancy. I don't try this at home. I would not recommend putting crocodile dung and honey in your vagina. Does not sound like a good idea. Uh, although nearly any body part or item of clothing may be an object of sexual fetishism, the shoe and the foot are the two most common fetishes in Western society. Just a decade ago, only 25% of women reported experiencing orgasm as a result of intercourse. In recent years, this number has risen to about 45%, which is awesome. In contrast, over 80% of women report experiencing orgasm through oral sex. And I am able to have an orgasm both clitorally and orally. I don't believe I've ever had a G-spot orgasm, but I'm sure I'll have it eventually. Uh, but while I can do both, I will say that the orgasms I've had through oral sex have always been the most intense. Like the point where like my entire body like just like jolts back. I'm like on the fucking wall, like shaking and on the verge of screaming. And like I would if I wasn't, in a house with 7 other people that are also my family. And then just like, writhing and like trying to like shove his head away because it's just like so intense that I reach like a breaking point where it's like I'm literally begging for mercy. Let's just say that. So those have always been the best for me. The vibrator, a common sex toy for women, was originally designed in the 19th century as a medication to combat anxiety-related symptoms of hysteria. I've definitely heard this before. Now known as menstruation. So that's ridiculous. Homosexuality was listed as a mental illness with the American Psychiatric Association, or APA, until 1973. It has been since removed and is now considered an orientation of the APA of illness. Throughout the United States, approximately 4% of the population self-identifies as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. And I feel like that percentage is pretty low, actually, that only 4% of the population in the United States identifies as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. I don't know about that, but that's what they have on here. Approximately 1% of people worldwide identify as asexual, which I don't know if I gave the percentage before, I don't remember. But yeah, 1% of people identify as asexual, which is characterized on here as having no strong sexual attraction to either sex, but some of them have absolutely no attraction. So I think they could have been a little more clear on that. Statistics suggest that approximately 1 in every 5 Americans has indulged in sex with a colleague at work. I have with my boyfriend, I'm recording. Approximately 70% of people in the US admit to fantasizing about group sex at some point in their life. More than 50% of these people actually follow through. I definitely fantasized about it and came very close to doing it, and I still totally would. Currently, 1 in 4 Americans, 65 million people, are currently living in with an incurable sexually transmitted disease, which is very scary. Nearly 1 in 4, that's way too high. During 2007, more than 2.5 million people worldwide became infected with HIV, also terrifying, the virus that causes AIDS. With these new cases, there are now 33 million people living with AIDS throughout the world. That's horrible. The disease was first diagnosed in 1981. More than 25 million people have died as a result of the virus. 2 million people died from AIDS in the year 2011 alone. Wow, this video is way too long. Sorry. The average male produces several million new sperm daily. Conversely, a female is born with a finite amount of eggs and will produce no more than that throughout her lifetime. Statistics show that approximately 90% of men and 65% of women masturbate from time to time. Worldwide, 27.5% of women report that they felt pressured in having sex for the first time, compared to 15% of men reporting the same feelings. According to a 2007 worldwide sex survey, the average age when people first have sex is 19.25, so, about 19. The survey also found that people in Asian countries tended to lose their virginity at a much later age, an average of 22, those in Western cultures, an average of 18. Outside the bedroom, the most common place for adults in the U.S. to have have sex in the car. Definitely had car sex many times before, and it's pretty awesome. Average couple spend about 20 minutes engaged in sexual foreplay prior to intercourse. I'm just going to touch on this. Foreplay, for some people, is very important, as, for example, for me, if I don't engage in any foreplay, sex is painful right off the bat. I have trouble as it is producing lubrication, and when there's no foreplay, it's no good. So, you know, oftentimes Will go down on me, or and or rub his penis on my vagina, or if we're really into it and just want to get right to it, we'll just use lube, which usually does a pretty decent job. Um, but yeah, sometimes foreplay for us can range from like 0 to 5 minutes to like a half hour or so. So what's that? Worldwide, sexually active adults report having sex on average of 103 times per year. This number is down from an average of 127 times per year in 2003. One report states that 48% of women have faked an orgasm at least once in their life, which is sad. Interestingly, an identical 40% of men also report faking an orgasm at least once, which is interesting. The other world, approximately 25% of people report having had only one sexual partner. Conversely, 21% of people report having more than 10 sexual partners in a lifetime. One survey reports that 53% of sexually active Americans claim to have sex at least once weekly. However, only 48% of Americans report being satisfied with their sex life, which is really sad, actually. Again, all these things, faking orgasms, not being satisfied, communication. Like, I'll talk about this more in detail, most likely eventually, but just keep that in mind. Many of the ingredients in chocolate are proven to cause arousal, similar in fact to sexual foreplay. In fact, some experts believe chocolate may be even more effective than foreplay for sexual arousal. I could seriously go for some chocolate right now. Both men and women can be turned on by the aromas of wine. Since many wines are believed to replicate human pheromones, chemical substances that cause behavioral responses in humans. Endorphins released during sexual activity create a euphoria similar to that produced by opioid drug use. These same endorphins are also act as extremely effective painkillers. So that's another thing. The endorphins that are released, definitely help with pain. So I know a lot of people say, girls, you can't use, headache as excuse. And, while sex can help to alleviate that, it doesn't for everyone. And, usually when you're in an immense amount of pain, you don't want to do anything but sleep, really. So, like, I don't know, I hate hearing that, it's no excuse. Like, as if, because sex can potentially alleviate pain, which it can, you know, that you owe the person sex. You're entitled to, you're obligated to have sex. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just a little shit. And I have so much to say, about sex and sex-related topics that I'll eventually get into another time, but I don't know, for now I'm done. There's a little bit more I wanted to go into, but this video is beyond too long already. So just a broad, intro. Like I said, let me know what you want me to talk about. I'll be more than happy to talk about it. And it doesn't have to just be, strictly sex. It can be about body image and, body or sex, positivism and feminism, anything like that. Sexism, what have you. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. I really appreciate any and all of you who have actually stuck to watching this entire video. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I love you guys.